Keep it going. I love this. Thank you guys so much. Wow. Hello, whites. Wow. To all my black folks, Wakanda. To everyone else, well, kinda. I'm assuming you whites are the good ones, right? You guys are the good ones? I mean, you're here, so I need a verbal response. Thank you, like a flight attendant in an exit row. You know. You guys like to storm shit, so I have to double check. But if you decide to get jazzy and run up here, just know that me and the other 5 black people here will transform to one super Negro called Busta Prime and more than meets the eye. Negroes in disguise because of systemic racism, but whatever. I like racism. Who clap it up if you like. I'm gonna tell you, I know that sounds crazy, right? You're like, whoa, Franqi, hey. No, I do. I like the full fat, you know what I mean? Like the unadulterated. I call it the Donnie racism, you know what I mean? That's my jam. Give it to me in my face. I don't like the subtle shit, you know what I mean? That light racism, no thank you. I don't want that. If I'm walking to my car and you lock your doors, I'm gonna run up and jiggle your door handle. Open the door, bitch! Open the door! So I kind of feel like you asked me to. You know what I mean? I work in corporate America during the day, and I work with the C-level suite. You guys know what that is, right? The CEO, the CFO, the C I can't do shit for myself, you know. I'm talking about. And I was doing a presentation one time, and I finished, and I see this old, decrepit Kellyanne Conway-looking bitch just coming at me, coming in hot. Franqi, Franqi, and I'm like, oh, she better not. And she gets really close. She's like, oh my God, Franqi, you are surprisingly. I was like, ooh, bitch, don't say it. And refreshingly, I said, oh, she about to say it. Articulate. Right, you said it was, what should I sound like? How should I sound at work, bitch? What should I sound like, Barbara? How should I? Imagine I'm doing a presentation. You're gonna play the part of Bob, because duh. I'm doing a presentation at work, and I'm like, so Bob. If you look at column A, line item 9, you'll see booty, mama, mama, booty. Should I? Is that what I should sound like? I go to LA a lot, and I didn't realize that Google Maps was racist. Seriously, until one day, I usually stay on a street called La Cienega. Sounds pretty innocuous, right? Until Google Maps says it. I'm 2 blocks away from where I'm staying, and I hear, in 0.2 miles, turn left on La Cienega. I said, oh! Shit, Google Maps! What? I immediately locked my door, though, because I did not know where that nigga was at. I didn't know where he was. But I found out quick because he ran up and was like, open the door, bitch, open it! Touché, sir, touché. I'm originally from New York, but I currently live in D.C., and I know. It's like fake New York, you know what I mean? It wants to be New York so bad, but it's not, it's not. But I live in D.C., and well, okay, look, I'm gonna be honest, all right? I live in Virginia, right outside. I know! I smoke weed, right? So I have to drive into DC where it's legal, and then I smoke it in Virginia because I'm old school, you know what I mean? And I'm always nervous because I'm like, what if I get caught? You know what I mean? Between here and there, what would I do? And I figured it out, and it's called kid phrases. Remember kid phrases back in the day? Like nanny, nanny, boo, boo, stick your head in doo-doo. Remember that? Y'all don't remember that? Yes, those are my favorite. Imagine if you could use kid phrases now as an adult. You know what I mean? Like you're out with somebody new, you looking good, they're looking good, they're smelling good, you smelling good, and you run into their ex. Right, and the ex comes up like, hey, that's my man, and you're like, nanny, nanny, boo-boo, bitch. You know what I mean? And you just keep walking. That'd be amazing. So I'm like, I could use kid phrases to get out of a situation with the police, right? I'm driving from DC, going back to VA, and I get the good skunky stuff. You know that shit that smells out the paper? That's what I like. You know what I mean? That's my jam. And the whole time you're riding, you're talking to your weed. You're like, hey, weed. Now, if anything happens, don't let the cops smell you. And the weed's like, man, I got you, man. I swear for Jesus, if the cops pull us over, I'ma hide my smell. And as soon as you cross the bridge and you hit that Virginia line, you hear whoop whoop, and you look at Weed and Weed's like, I got you. Then you roll your window down and Weed's like, excuse me, nigga, and goes right out the window. Right into the cop's nose. And the cop, before he even can get out why he pulled you over, he's like, is that marijuana I smell? Kid phrases. You just look that cop in the eye and you go, whoever smelt it, dealt it. And you peel out, you hit the gas, and you speed home, right? But now you're in a high-speed chase. It's not one cop, it's 3 cops, 4 cops. I got a helicopter. But you make it home. And so you jump out the car, you run to your stairs. You're on base. They can't do shit. Right? But just in case they can, you get in the house, you lock all the doors, and you smoke all the weed, because you're not a noob. You got to get rid of the evidence. Now you're smoking the weed, you're eating some cake. You're smoking the weed, you're watching porn, right? I know you saucy little bitch. You're smoking the weed, you're watching Dateline, and then the cops get on a megaphone. They have a negotiator on the scene. Crap. I'm like, Franqi French. This is Officer Johnson with the Fairfax County Police Department. I'm gonna need you to bring your black ass out of this goddamn house right freaking now. You're a criminal. You're a crook. You are a menace to society. Come on with your hands up. And at that moment, I get my megaphone, because fuck you, cop. And I open the window and throw back the sash, and I address the gentleman on my front lawn. Excuse me, gentlemen, upon my front lawn. Heed me now and hear my words. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock, nay, Plymouth Rock landed on us. And you may take our lives, but you will not take our freedom. And I am not a crook, nor am I a criminal, nay, sir. I am not a fugitive from the law. For I, dear sirs, am rubber. And you're glue. Anything you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. And at that moment, SWAT busts in your windows. Because that's how crimes work. Now you're in lockup. You're about to go to court. And you're sitting in there in the cell by yourself. Damn it, Franqi, kid phrases. So stupid. Why would you think that would work? And your lawyer comes in at the last minute. I don't know why she's out of breath, but I feel like it works, right? Franqi, good news, bad news. They got you lock, stock, and barrel. But they've only got one witness. If we could figure out a way to shut that one witness down, we can get you out of here. Kid phrases. I know exactly what to do. And I saunter into that courtroom with the confidence of a mediocre white man. And I take my seat, and as soon as they swear that snitching ass snitching, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I stand up and simultaneously say, I do, jinx! And I'm home free. Unless and until someone buys him a Coke and I shat. You guys are silly. I do love weed. Where are my weed heads at? Like, okay, I need to understand, like, I'm a weed aficionado. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do like, oh, I'm gonna take like a 5 milligram gummy. Shut up. You don't know anything about weed. You know what I mean? Like Sunday afternoon, 6 a.m., I wake up, I eat a 50 milligram. You feel me? Yeah. Boom, right to the face. Sunday, 6 a.m. Nom, 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 nom. And then I roll a fat blunt the size of my face. And I smoke it until it burns my fingers. And I sit back and wait to see what happens. That's a nice Sunday afternoon. One time I did this, right? And as soon as I put the blunt out, I'm watching True Crime and the Cooking Channel. Not a good combination. And then downstairs, I'm in a 3-story townhouse, right? And in my kitchen, I hear, boom! It's the microwave going off, and I'm like, someone's heating up all the butter. What? What are you talking about, man? So now I start freaking out, right? And I call my husband, who's in the basement. Why? Because he needs to get away from me. And I call him, and he's like, babe, what's going on? I'm like, come here. He's like, tell me what's going on. I'm like, no, come up here. He's like, what's wrong? I was like, come here. And you hear him tearing up the stairs. Brrr. And he comes in the bedroom, and I was like, closer. He's like, I'm right here. I'm like, no, closer. He's like, I'm here. I'm like, no, come put your mouth on my ear and hear what I have to say. That's not how listening works. And he's like, come on, man. What's wrong? I said, fine. Fine. I'll tell you. Remember earlier how I had regular brown human legs? What? What are you talking about? And he's looking at me like, yeah. I said, well, no, they're crab legs. Who are you? Ma'am, what are you talking about? And he is upset for obvious reasons. He just ran up 6 flights of stairs. And he says to me, babe, you couldn't tell me this bullshit over the phone? Why didn't you just come downstairs and tell me? I said, I just got these crab legs. I don't know if there's feet on the bottom. Plus, someone's in the kitchen heating up all the butter. Just waiting to come up here and snap my legs and eat all my thigh meat. I'm not gonna lie, you see these thighs? That's good eating. I was terrified. My husband's a sweet dude. Like, he's seriously, like, he's a really good guy. Like, he's obsessed with me. Ew, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm the worst. You know, I'm like, gross, stop. You know? And like, in the pandemic, it was so cute. He was like, babe, I got an idea. Like, once the pandemic's over, like, I feel like we fell in love again. I was like, gross. He's like, why don't we renew our vows? I was like, okay, first off, I'm not even pregnant this time. Stop. He's like, no, seriously, like, we should do it. We should, like, do a destination wedding. I was like, okay, I'll do it, but this time it's got to be a final destination wedding. And maybe like you don't come back. Sign this paperwork. One of the craziest parts of the pandemic for us, though, anyone in here do the pandemic with a roommate? Oh, okay, I'm the only one that made poor life choices? Okay, forget you guys. So yeah, my husband and I, we had a roommate, and I don't know like if this is the proper term, but she was trash. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of like millennial garbage person. Like she was just the worst, you know what I mean? Like she's one of those people that would eat the last of your stuff and then not replace it. What kind of animal eats the last of the Fruit Loops and then doesn't go buy more Fruit Loops? I would come home late feeling kind of peckish, you know what I mean? I get the bowl, I get the spoon, I get the milk, I get the Fruit Loops. I turn over the box. You know what that sound is? It's Fruit Loop dust. What kind of monster leaves Fruit Loop dust and doesn't have enough respect to leave a straw and a razor blade in there so I could Okay, all right. That was just a little tip check. Okay. Meet me in the bathroom, y'all. Couple Fruit Loop users in here. Yeah, she's a monster. And she's like one of those people that doesn't speak English. And not like I don't mind other languages, but she speaks hashtag. What? Hashtag good morning. Hashtag blast. I'm like hashtag bitch die in a fire. That's trending in my kitchen right now. She loves selfies. Let's take a selfie. Wanna take a selfie? And she's always sending her selfies to me like I haven't seen her. You know what I mean? One day I'm out and I'm like, at a show or whatever, and my phone buzzes. I'm like, ooh, who's that? And I open it up. It's a selfie of her and my husband snuggled on my sofa, watching the TV I got for my birthday, cuddled up under the blanket my dead grandmother made me. Yeah, and she captions it, hashtag movie night. That's how many E's she put in a word that doesn't have an E in it. I sent her back a hashtag. You guys should follow it. It's super easy to remember. You don't need to write it down. I sent it a hashtag so she could understand it. And it was a hashtag, bitch, I don't think you know how black women work. I'm gonna fuck you up when I get home. I play a lot, but I don't play about my husband, whore. You see that spear in my closet? Wakanda forever. The one thing we did right, I will civil rights march on you. Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. That was the hashtag. It's very easy to remember. Here's the wildest thing she ever did. So one night, I'm excited to go home and get in bed because my husband's out of town. And I know how mean that sounds, but I see some couples in here, and anyone in here, if you sleep with the same person, night after night after night, you know the best gift they can give you, right? Is an argument. About 15, 20 minutes before bedtime. Yes. Fuck you, bitch. I'm sleeping on the sofa. No, don't, please. Please don't. No. Stay. So I get home. I'm excited. I take a sexy shower. Ladies, we've all done this, just sitting on a toilet, naked, drinking wine. And when I finish crying, I get in bed, she's in my bed, asleep, wearing my vintage Guns N' Roses t-shirt. I was like, welcome to the jungle. What are you doing right now? Get out of my room. Now here's where I'm gonna lose everybody, I'm pretty sure. And this is not a joke, this is real life. She's never paid rent. Okay, gasp at your mother, not me, okay? Seriously, she's never paid rent, and in the pandemic, dug her heels in, you know what I mean? Here's the craziest part. I confront her every month, hey girl, where is my rent money? And she uses the same excuse every month. How do you do that? I can't go to work and be like, dude, remember like 6 months ago when my dad died? That nigga died again. Like you can't use the same excuse over and over. But she would do it. I'd be like, hey girl, where's my rent money? And she'd be like, mommy, stop telling people I'm your roommate. I'm only 12 years old. I can't help you and broke ass daddy. Like what a bitch, right? She's the worst. Herpes is not the only lifelong STD. She's a character. She's been ruining my life since she crawled out of my womb. I kid you not. For the first 3 years, I did nothing but care for her. Like, I didn't go out with friends. I didn't do anything. I was just with her nonstop. And then around age 3, my girlfriends called me up. They're like, bitch, we're going out? They're Caucasian. I don't know if that came through. We are going to get fucked up. I was like, yes, please. So they come over, and we're drinking some Chard, right, as you do. And I say to her, I'm like, hey, pumpkin, run upstairs, go in the bathroom, get me my makeup case. And this is the first thing she ruined for me, which was my husband's penis. I know I'm going to explain this is not an R. Kelly situation. And so we hear her going up the stairs, bing, 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 so cute, right? And then we hear a blood-curdling scream, and we hear the door slam. I had forgotten that my husband was in the shower. He's black. I'm not humble bragging. It's relevant to the story. But thank me for my cervix. And anyway, we hear her come running down the stairs. Brrr, and she comes busting into the kitchen. She's like, Mommy, oh my God, you have to come quick. Something's wrong with Daddy. I said, what is it? Is he dead? She's like, no, it's worse. I said, wait a minute. Is he broke? What happened? Did you see his credit score? What's going on? She said, no. I said, what? She said, Daddy's naked. And I saw him from the front. I think Daddy is pooping from the front. That is called poo-poo penis, and no thank you. I do not want that, sir. Now let's fast forward a year. Now she's 4. She's a woman of the world, and she's got questions. She's all up in my face with it, right? She's like, Mommy, where do babies come from? Crap. And I'm like, okay, go get a pen and paper. I'll draw you some diagrams. So I drew some O's, I drew some phallopes. You need that, right? I drew like 10, 12, maybe 13 shots of Hennessy, because we know how mistakes are made. And then I drew a single sperm. My husband freaks out about this. He's like, why would you draw a single sperm for a 4-year-old? I was like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Should I have pumped some lotion in my hand, smeared it on my face, and explained to her, this is what it looks like when you see it in college for the first time. Would that have been, oh, we got lots of college grads, okay. So when I finish explaining everything to her, she says to me, okay, Mommy, let me get this straight. So the mom has the eggs in her tummy. I said, yeah. And the dad has the seeds. I said, yeah. And the dad takes the seeds, puts them into the mommy's tummy. It fertilizes the egg and grows a baby. I said, nailed it. Psh, up top, let's go get some ice cream, right? She said, wait a minute. I have follow-up questions. Crap. How does the dad get the seeds into the mommy's tummy? Then she said the most horrifying sentence I've ever heard come out of a toddler's mouth. It was so terrifying, I heard it in slow motion. She said, does she swallow them? What? So now, ladies and gentlemen, I am in a kerfuffle. I have a very important decision that I need to make in a matter of seconds. Am I a responsible adult, curating the mind of an impressionable child, or am I a comedian? Judging from the laughter this evening, I think we can all agree that I'm a comedian. So what I said was, no, sweetheart, does she swallow them? No, see, what we're talking about is how to make a baby. What you seem to be thinking of is how to make a husband. It's a very, very similar process. And you will have someone suckling on your teats for 18 years. I love her though. She's great. I love my daughter. She's super gay. That's probably my favorite thing about her. She's such a homo. It's so fantastic. Seriously, she came out at 10 years old. Right, that's crazy. 10 years old, she knew who she was as a human. When I was 10, I didn't even know who my father was. That's crazy. She knew who she was. I'll never forget it though. It was pretty funny. She comes in my room. She's 10 years old. She's like, Mommy, I need to talk to you. I need you to not freak out about it. I was like, dude, what is it? Are you gay? She goes, oh my God. How did you know? I said, bro, only a lesbian would be this angry at 10 years old. You have a very comfortable situation here. There's nothing for you to be this upset about. Happy Pride, by the way. This is the end of Pride Month, right? I don't technically celebrate this late in the month because I'm only bi, so I have to stop on the 15th, but happy Pride to all you full gays out there. When I think about it, I have a pretty queer family. My daughter's gay, I'm bi and non-binary, and my husband is questioning my authority all the time, and it's really taken me to the edge. It's just, it's funny because we've been together for a while, for a long time actually, and he just recently realized that I'm non-binary, right? And he's like, and the first thing he said, he goes, wait a minute, does that make me gay? I said, oh no, honey, that's not what makes you gay. And I'm actually kidding, I didn't really say that. It made me feel a little uncomfortable and a little disconcerted, a little weird. Like, how could I be with this person for so long and not realize they had these weird, deep-seated, homophobic ideologies just kind of bubbling beneath the surface. You know what I mean? Like, how weird is it for you to think that my gender identity is somehow tied to your sexuality? And so what I actually said to him, I was like, no, sir. Me being non-binary does not make you gay. It makes you a faggot, and that's a little bit different. It's a little different. I'm very proud of the fact that I think I may have made the gayest person on earth. I think my daughter is the most lesbian that's ever lesed a lesbian. No, but here's why. Hear me out. You'll go with me on this. She came to me one day and sat me down. I was like, I need to ask you something. I'm like, oh my God, it sounds deep. What's up? And she's like, you're bi, right? I was like, yeah. And then she goes, so why a man? What? I was like, dude, that man is your biological father. Without him, you literally don't exist. And without missing a beat, she goes, yeah, so why a man? What a bitch. So Do you like hear that though? Do you understand what she's saying? She's so gay that she is willing to snuff out her very existence just for me to be with a woman? What? That, ladies and gentlemen, is not an ally. No, that's an accomplice. She will help me bury the body. It'll probably be your dad's, but we'll be fine. You know what I mean? But yeah, my daughter, I love her to death. She's actually a really great human, but I worry about her a lot. Like, the landscape of the world is very different. You know what I mean? And she's black and gay and a woman. Whew, that's a lot on one person's shoulders, you know what I mean? And so I'll never forget, me and my husband sat down and we're like, how can we raise her to guarantee her future? You know, like, what can we do? So we sat, we talked about it, and we decided to raise her Caucasian, because I feel like... I feel like that would give her the best shot, you know what I mean? And you guys may not know this, you have them here, but have you ever been to one of the training facilities for that? No? You've never been to one? No one in here has ever been to brunch. Nobody has ever been to a brunch? Come on, brunch is just build a basic white bitch workshop. That's all it is. Just with mimosas, that's it. And I took her to one of those like upscale hoity-toity spots in DC, you know, where like all the asshole, what do you do, Brent? What do you do, Chad? I'm a lobbyist. I'm a master of the universe. You know, one of those spots. And here's the thing I'll never forget. We sit down, and the waiter says the most disrespectful thing to me I'd ever heard at a brunch. He looks me in the face, and he says, "What would you like to drink?" Bitch, I'm a professional, okay? Get me mimosas, the bottomless kind, whore. As far as the eye can see, just line them up, lay me down, put a funnel in my face hole, and pour. If I vomit, wipe my mouth, flip me over, and butt chug that shit. Stop playing with me. Disrespect me like that. And then he looks at my daughter, trying to treat her like an adult, and he's like, "And what will you be having, miss?" Apple cider in an artisanal glass. What a bitch. And her drink comes to the table, and it's in this beautiful, like, hand-blown glass, right? There's smoke billowing from it. There's a star anise floating in the top. There's a cinnamon stick gingerly laid across the side. And I say to her, "I don't think you're gonna like that, pumpkin. It's got a lot of spice in it." She says, "Calm down, mommy. I have a very advanced palate." I said, "Oh, well, first off, you're using the word wrong, because a palate is a thing you make on the floor at Mama's house when too many cousins come over, so fuck you and your private school education." She drinks it, loves it. We go back the next week. Waiter comes over, he's like, "I know what you want." I said, "My man, psh, up top." And he looks at my daughter, "And what will you be having, miss?" "I want a hot apple cider in an artisanal glass." Ladies and gentlemen, her drink came to the table. There was no star anise. There was no cinnamon stick. You know what there was? A problem. She said, "Excuse me." When someone starts laughing like that and rubbing their top lip, they're about to verbally assassinate you. She said, "Excuse me, Jen." The waiter says, "I'm sorry, miss, my name is Ken." She said, "Whatever, Jennifer. I was here last week, and I ordered the same drink, and there was a star anise and a cinnamon stick in it. Do you see a star anise? Do you see a cinnamon stick? I don't think so. So what I'm gonna need you to do is get the waiter, get the waitress, get the barman, get the architect, moment, I felt exactly how all of you good people are feeling right now. I said, oh my God. I did it. I freaking did it. She is gonna make an amazing white woman someday. Yeah. Just perfect. Just fantastic. I shall name her Karen. And she shall ruin everything for everyone but herself. Yeah, it was... White women are cool, though. I know. You're my favorite brand of white. Like, I'm not even kidding. White women are great. And I'm going to make a very controversial statement right now. White women are fantastic because they have something black women don't have. Now, gentlemen, you hear the chairs shifting, you hear the silence. Let me explain to the men in here what's happening. All the black women here are going, what they got, bitch? Like, they really want to know. I have to choose my next words very carefully. But simultaneously, all the white ladies are internally going, oh my God. Oh my God, someone's gonna freaking say it finally. Ah! They're very excited. And this is the thing, white women have the audacity, and it is, chef kisses delicious. It's so freaking good. And if you don't have a best white girlfriend with the audacity, get one immediately. Seriously, you can call your black girlfriend up and your white girlfriend up, same problem, completely different responses. I can call up Keisha. Hello? Keisha! I think he's cheating on me. Keisha is gonna give me some salient advice. She's gonna make me feel good about myself and then send me on my way. Where you at right now, girl? Where you at right now? No, get in the mirror. No, don't hang up on me and get in the mirror. Get in the mirror while I'm on the phone. Look at yourself. You are fly, you are fine, you are everything in life. You don't need him. You never needed him, okay? The one thing we did right. Go in the closet, get your spear. Wakanda forever. Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. Click and that's it. Okay, my soul is full. I feel good about myself and I could live to fight another day. Not Jennifer. Jennifer is going to have a drastically different response. Hello? Jennifer, I think he's cheating on me. What the fuck did you say? What the fuck did you say? Fuck that shit, bitch. I'm calling Jen. Jennifer, Jenna, Jen. 2 Kirstens and a Becca, and I'm going to his house right now. I didn't care, okay? I didn't care. I've been doing Pilates 8 days a week. These are buns of steel. I don't wait to be signing up, okay? I didn't care, okay? I do yoga, I do toga, I do goat yoga. It doesn't even matter, okay? Oh, his mom's out? His freaking mom's out? I will beat her up. Oh, his kids are there? His kids are there? I didn't care. Oh, wait, what? What is that? Oh, he's gonna call the police, so I should be scared? Well, surprise! I'm gonna call the police on myself! Very different response. It's not like black women aren't about that smoke, we just have to move different. Because black women also have something that white women don't have. Those are called consequences. So we have to we have to move a little differently. But no joke, my best friend of like 20 years for like ever is a blonde bombshell of a woman, and her name, I kid you not, is Becky Beaver. I know, I didn't even write that joke. Her parents did it for me. And I love Becky so much because on any random Tuesday night, like 11:30 at night, I'm packing it in, I can get this phone call. Hello? Bitch. What the fuck are you doing right now? Nothing, Bex. It's 11:30 at night. You know what I mean? I was about to smoke some weed, drink some wine, pop a Xanax, and slip into a coma. Fuck that shit, bitch. We are going out, and we're gonna get white girl wasted. That sounds dope, but I gotta get black girl up for work tomorrow. So I can't, plus I'm kind of broke. That's when Becky says the 3 magic words. It's on me. I'm like, I'm already at the bar. I'm 5 shots in. How do you spell beaver so I can start your tab for us, girl? And then Beck shows up, and she's late. She's drunk. Why? Because she's been pre-gaming. She's not a noob. And it can be jam-packed elbow to elbow. And Jen doesn't care about any of you. She doesn't care if you get home to see your kids. All she cares about is getting from the front door to the bar for more drinks. And she comes in like gangbusters. Poof. Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. Don't freaking touch me. Excuse me. Burton. Sex on the beach, a sex on my face, a redheaded slut, and 5 black guys to disappoint my dad at table 9. If I could get that at table 9, what? I don't even care about the drink order. I'm like, Bex, how do you know the table numbers here? What are you doing with your Tuesday night, sis? But it's cool though, 'cause when it's time to go, Becky's gonna take one for the team, 100% of the time. Pray. Shh. Why do drunk people always shush you when you're not saying anything? What is that phenomenon? I'm like, Bex, land your plane. What is it, Franqi? Forget Lyft? Forget Uber? I'm gonna drive. Better you than me, right? So we get in the car and we're doing it. We're not doing well, but we're making it. You know what I mean? And that's all that matters. And we're about 2 blocks from my house, and I'm like, oh, snap, we made it. We made it. Oh, yes, we made it. And then I hear, woo, woo, son of a bitch. And then Becky starts her BS again. Franqi, shh. Franqi, shh. Now I feel like some kind of way, because I feel like she can't see me. You know what I mean? The police are involved. No need to shush. I'm gonna be super quiet during your traffic stop. Matter of fact, I'm gonna unclick my seatbelt. I'm gonna slide down into the footwell. I'm gonna curl up into the fetal position and blend in with the darkness. And hope that he doesn't even know I'm in here. And now Becky begins to answer questions the cop hasn't asked yet. Your Honor? I already know why you put me over. You put me over because I was swerving, I was driving. And then she gives him a reason for the swerving. And it was the most Caucasian reason for a thing. I didn't even know an explanation could have an ethnicity until this moment. I was swerving because she was tickling me. You snitching ass bitch! You snitch! I have blended into the darkness, Becky. He doesn't even know I've been here. Now I have to slide up and click it before I get that ticket, right? And the cop forgets about Bex. And he walks his idiot ass around the front of the car to the passenger side where I have not been driving all night. And I roll my window down, and as soon as I do, click, click, that cop light right in my face. You know, the big mag light? And most of you won't know this, but you never know how black you are until you have a bright-ass cop light shining in your black-ass face, yes! I thought I was kind of light-skinned, right? That light hit my eyes, I was like, oh, there is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remains my power, my pleasure, my pain. The cops were pissed, okay? Unlike you, they did not appreciate the vocal stylings of Franqi French. And it was at that moment he leaned into the window. He leaned in so close, you could almost smell the systemic racism on his breath. And he said to me one word. You know what he said to me, sir? He looked at me and he said, baby. You guys are fun. White dudes, I gotta talk about you guys too, huh? You may not know this about yourself, but you're creepy. I just want to put that out there. You're creepy. You can't help it. You can't help it. You're creepy. And it's not even like you're obvious creepy dude. Like, this guy looks like a creep. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect, but he knows. Like, he's like, yes, I do. But he's probably super safe to walk butt naked down an alleyway at 3 a.m. This guy's safe. This mild-mannered motherfucker right here, this boy next door right here, freaking Clark Kent, this guy is eating your butt first date, ladies. And sir, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all good, you know what I mean? Like, no shame for your ass-eating escapades, you know what I mean? Love is love, you do you. That's not the problem. The problem is, when he's finished, he's gonna try to put the rest of you in a freezer for later, you know what I mean? With the fava beans and a nice Chianti. Hello, Clarice, you know? Uncomfy. White dudes have the confidence of a crackhead trying to holler at a businesswoman at 7 a.m. Scare me, scare me, scare me, scare me, scare me. Pardon me, pardon me, pardon me, pardon me, pardon me, Miss Lady. Now, I, just like you, have been adversely affected by the Courvoisier virus. So I'm just wondering if you could see your way to give me just a little piece of pussy till Tuesday. That's white dudes, man. They have this confidence with no evidence. Like, how are you? Like, Chad wakes up 8 a.m. like, yeah. Looks in the mirror, is like, freaking killing it. You have done nothing, Chad. You've done nothing. What are you killing? And I came to this conclusion recently because I saw a statistic. And I read the statistic, and it didn't give ethnicity, but I was like, they only polled white dudes for this. And you're like, well, how do you know, Franqi? Like, that's racist. No, it's not, because when I tell you the statistic, everyone in here is gonna go, yeah, they definitely only asked white dudes, 100%. And here's the statistic. 8% of men believe they could beat a lion in a fist fight. What? What? That number should be 0 across the board. No one should be walking around like, bro, seriously, bro? Freaking seriously, bro? Lion walks in here right now, bro? That lion's got one freaking shot, bro. No shit, Chad. It only needs one shot because it has 5 knives sticking out of the end of its paw. It's going to slice your carotid artery, you idiot. They just don't fully get it, you know what I mean? Like Justin Timberlake, like he's like a worldly white dude, right? Rich, he's been all over the world. You would think he understands how life works, but he doesn't. He did that song with Jay-Z, gave himself away. You take the clothes off my back. What? And I let you, huh? And you steal the food right out of my mouth. Gross. And I watch you eat, and I still don't know why. What, you don't? Why I love you so much. Whole time, I'm like, it's the pussy, Justin. Boy. Why don't you know that? You've been around the world, and I. But black dudes get it. No matter how weird or strange they are, black dudes get it. Probably because they have to, right? Like Miguel, the singer Miguel, that nigga is weird. He is odd as a cod, but he gets it. He had that one song, how many drinks would it take you to leave with me? He's getting consent, ladies. Yeah, you look good, and he's body positive. Yeah, I got money. Wait a minute, he's also fiscally sound. What? But I don't want to waste my time. And good time management skills? Huh? How many drinks do you think? Maybe 2 or 3. Like, hey ladies, drinks are $5 right now. I will spend 10 to 15 to hit that ass. Like, he gets it. He is doing math. Oh, okay, here's my last one. And we're gonna take it down just a teeny bit for just a second, because we're in New York. I'm originally from New York. We have any natives here? Yes, native New Yorkers. Now, real quick, before I even get into this joke, native New Yorkers, we're not afraid on the subway. Let's just be very clear about that. You know why? If you're not from here, you may not know this. When you're 3 years old, born in New York, your parents, on your 3rd birthday, kick you down into the subway station. And if you make it home, they keep you, okay? And if not, they chalk it up to the jungle, you know what I mean? They weren't fit to live here anyway, and then they keep going on with their life. So New Yorkers, we are not afraid in the subway no matter what happens, all right? Let's talk about Jordan Neely. We all know who that is, right? Then shout out to him and his family, R.I.P., God bless him and his family. And Daniel Pussy-Ass Penny, I think that's his name. I think that's right. I'm pretty sure that's his legal middle name. But this dude said he was afraid for his life. And I was like, well, maybe he's from Minnesota. You know what I mean? And doesn't know, or Ohio or something. You know, maybe he just doesn't know. And I researched him. He's from New York. Right? So we gotta call bullshit. You were not afraid on the subway in New York. I took the subway here. And you know what I saw on the subway here just tonight? There was a homeless man with his pants around his ankles, with a bottle of butter-flavored Crisco, and he was rubbing it on his underregions, okay? And he looked me in the eye, we locked eyes, and he was singing a song, and it went like this. Butter my balls, butter my balls. Bitch right there gonna butter my balls. You know what I called that? A Sunday afternoon. Was I scared? No, because I'm from New York. What I did was ask him a follow-up question. Excuse me, sir, am I the bitch right there that you expect to butter your balls? He said, no, baby, I'm just singing a song. Cool. And I went back to minding my business. Jordan Neely got on the subway and said, I am hungry, I am thirsty, and I don't care if I have to kill someone to go to jail. Why? Because he was hungry and thirsty. He had no weapons. And then this man choked him for 15 minutes until he died. You know you can knock someone out in 10 seconds like that, right? That's not a good Samaritan. That's what the military man and the good Samaritan. No, you know what a good Samaritan does? They help. They get you food and drink. That's what they do. He didn't do that. Not a good Samaritan. Me, on the other hand, I'm a fucking hero. Because I was walking to a show one night, and outside of the 7-Eleven, I was stopping to get a pack of cigarettes. There was a homeless man sitting outside, right? And he says to me, hey, sis, you got a couple dollars I could spare? I said, you know what, I don't. But I'm gonna go in here and get a pack of cigarettes. I'll get cash back, and I got you when I come out. The cash back machine wasn't working. So I came out feeling kind of bad and dejected, but I walked up to him and I said, hey, you know what? I couldn't get any cash back, but do you smoke cigarettes? He goes, actually, I do. I said, well, how about this? I'll keep 3 for myself. I'll give you the rest of the pack, and we'll call it square. He's like, okay, cool. And he was so moved by that tiny act of kindness, he asked me, could I have a hug? And like I said, I'm a fucking hero. So I said, of course you can, because he's a human person and he deserves human contact, just like any of us here. Now, when he stood up, he was exactly this tall. And then, much like now, my boobies were out, because they're glorious and everyone should see them. But now, me and this gentleman are locked in an ocular conversation. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, he's looking at my boobs. He's looking at my boobs, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. And you could almost hear his thought process. He's like, should I hug this nice lady, say thank you, and go back to my box? Or Should I risk it all? And at that moment, he began to smell between my breasts. I kid you not, this is a true story. I know. And before I could even react, he began to motorboat me. And in that moment, I was like, should I scream? Do I yell for the police? But then I remembered that I am not a white woman. And calling the police could get me and this gentleman killed. So I cradled his head. And I said, have at it, young man. Because not only am I a hero, I'm a philanthropist. And those were the cleanest boobies he's gonna get to smell for God knows how long. And if I have anything to do with it, every red-blooded American in this country will have a nice, clean pair of boobs to sniff at will. Franqi French 2024. So once he finished, I wiped the bum snot from my breast. And I said, we should introduce ourselves. We've been quite intimate. I'm Franqi French, what's your name? He said, well, sis, they call me Ham Bone. That's the coldest name in the game. I said, well, nice to meet you, Ham Bone. I went on to my show, and I didn't think about it again until about 9-10 months later. Around the same time, I'm in about the same area, and who do I see with a haircut, in a suit, with a key fob, boop, 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 into his own place? Who? That's right, Ham Bone. So I'm running after him like, Ham Bone, Ham Bone. And I catch up to him and he goes, actually, they call me Michael now. I said, okay, Michael, I see you, new suit, haircut, okay, key fob. I said, well, what you got going on, Michael? You look great. Like, is this your place? He's like, yeah, I live here. And he said, I said, do you remember me? He said, of course I remember you, Franqi French. You saved my life. I said, I gave you a pack of cigarettes. That's the antithesis of life-saving. He said, no, you don't understand. I didn't smoke any of those cigarettes. I sold them on the street for a markup. I bought some more packs. I repeated the process until I had enough money to buy things like snacks and drinks and coffee, and I sold that on the street. And I had so much inventory, I got some guys to help me move product. I saved every penny, bought into a co-op, and now I'm doing pretty well. I know. Damn. I said, wow, Michael, that sounds impressive. That sounds like a very daunting process. How did you stay focused and motivated? He said, well, if I could be honest, it was those delicious ass titties. All right, you guys.